What is up, Retro Maniacs? Welcome to Short Prints. My name's Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP. And we're here to talk about cards. Specifically, we're going to talk about how to be a better eBay seller today. We came up with a list of 5 things we're going to talk about a little bit. Hopefully, these are things if you sell on eBay, you already do. But getting to the list. First thing on our list is know what you are selling. This is a pretty big point. You know, you don't want to sell something too low. You don't want to sell something too high. Do the research, look stuff up, know what you're selling before you sell it.
Yeah, there is nothing more frustrating than when you have a card that you know is worth, say, $100, right? And someone goes and says, now they just reset the market because they put that card for $40. Like every other listing on Terapeak, 100, 100, 100. And then that one person puts it for $40 and it totally screws up the comps.
Because everybody's like, well, look,
the last one sold for
Yeah.
40.
Right.
And it's sometimes with like an auction, it can, you never know what could happen. It's like the wild, wild west, right? But with when people do that with a fixed price, buy it now, it's so frustrating to see them put something. And then the reverse is true as well. It's so frustrating when you see someone put a $40 card for $100 and then you feel like the jerk. You're like, no, it looks like I'm undercutting, but I'm not. I'm actually selling it for what I should. So definitely do the price research. Terapeak is free. Use it.
Yeah, very valuable.
That exact thing happened to me with the tops. The Vinny Pasquantino SSP rookie that I pulled. They were all listed for like $200, $300. And then they ended up going for selling for like I sold mine for $175, but in between somebody sold one for $40. That's crazy. Like,
yeah,
didn't look up the price. There are a lot of tools available to do the research for any cards, find out any of the details, and to find out prices. There's lots of stuff out there.
And another sub point to that is when you're doing the listing, make sure you have your item specifics right. Make sure you put the right player in there. Don't put other players that isn't involved with your card. I hate when people put in Tom Brady for a Tom Savage card. You're looking up Tom Brady and the first thing that pops up says Tom Savage PSA 10, which is tempting in its own right.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, it gets a little bit annoying after a while.
Whether people are doing it on purpose or or even if they're doing it by accident, like be careful, like to actually take your time and fill out the details.
Hit the preview button. It will show you what your listing will look like. Hit the preview button. And I apologize to Tom Savage for another drive-by that we just took on him. He's pretty close to Tom Brady in my eyes.
It was tempting.
But yeah, I think a lot of people, to your point, EP, I think they do sell something similar, or do you have something and they do that, and then it just kind of like snowballs into where they're not looking what the other person listed this card for, or they don't care because whatever,
they just want to list it for whatever. A lot of people just think that the picture is all that matters. Like the people that like don't even think that descriptions matter are kind of crazy. The title and the picture. Speaking of pictures, point number 2. Take good photos. This shouldn't be rocket science. Like none of this stuff is rocket science. Take good photos. And if you're selling a more expensive card, take multiple photos, show the corners, show if there's a dimple or something on it or a scratch on it, show it. Let people know, let them see. Like you're going to do better selling it and having the buyer know what they're getting instead of getting something they want to send back.
Yeah. Mike, do you guys remember back in the day when you had to use a floppy disk in a digital camera?
Yes.
And then,
have mine
the pictures never came out great, but they were better than anything else. We have one of the best cameras you can have in your pocket at all times. It's not difficult.
You can shoot a movie on that.
You can shoot a movie on that. I have I'm 3 generations behind, and it still takes really, really good pictures. If I'm selling graded cards too, just a lot of the time, these companies will upload high-res scans of your card.
PSA scan,
take the PSA, the SGC scan, whatever, and upload that. I know, was it CSG charges you $5? So in that case, probably not. But like seriously, they're for the ones that have the free service, do it. They're going to show a better picture, more accurate picture of your card. If you're selling something raw and it's expensive, take pictures of the corners, get close-ups, do everything you can because honestly, at the end of the day, the seller is probably going, or the buyer is probably going to message you and ask to see those things. So why just do it while the card is available and you're taking pictures otherwise? Don't just put one picture and say, they'll figure it out.
It feels like laziness, right? Like they just don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today probably comes down to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Point number 3. Answer people's questions in a timely manner. If there's an issue with something somebody bought from you, get back to them right away. Be professional about it. Like, these are potential customers or customers. Like, be professional. Like, there's no reason. I know especially with cards, some people can be obnoxious and annoying. It's sometimes hard with that stuff, but like, we're talking about normal questions. There's nothing I hate worse than asking a question and then you don't get a response back. Like,
right.
I'm interested in your product you're selling. I have a question. Answer it. I might buy it. It's what we're trying to do, right? Sell whatever we're selling.
Exactly. And I've had situations where something has gone wrong, like something didn't get shipped, something got lost in the mail. If someone asks you a question about that or reaches out to you, said, something got screwed up in this whole process, how can we fix it? You need to respond to those, because not only are you avoiding potential negative feedback, like you said, Mike, you are potentially losing a customer. I've had customers where something did go wrong on the shipping side of it, unfortunately. But they still came back and purchased other items from me, knowing it wasn't my fault, knowing I was responsive to their request. And, you don't want to alienate anyone for no good reason. And EP is going to talk about people who are dicks. I'm sure there are some out there, but for the most part, if someone's reaching out to you and they have a legitimate concern or a legitimate question, maybe they just have a question about the product. Maybe your pictures weren't as good as you think they were, and they would like to see an additional picture or two. It's not the end of the world. You're trying to sell something. If you can have someone ask you for a picture, or if you have someone ask you for a picture, just take the picture, or
they're interested.
They're interested, right?
You have the nibble on the hook.
Right.
Set the hook.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because the bottom line is you're here to sell the card. Like within reason. Like, you don't want to sell a $100 card for $5, but I mean, the bottom line is you want to. So anyhow, my story about this, responding to questions. I've sold 141 cards from this Topps case that I bought. I think for sure that there would be some sort of question. There's only been one person sent me a question talking about the price. And I think it was only, there might've been a couple other ones asking about prices, but the cards sold right away before I even had a chance to respond. But just this past week, I had somebody who wanted I had a card listed for $39.99. I sent offers of $29.99. Somebody came back and said, would you do 15? I was like, no, I'm going to stick with $29.99 right now. And their response was, well, I just bought 2 for 15. As though him buying 2 for 15 would change my opinion about what I'm selling. I did not respond to that because I just thought that was I thought it was a little bit unprofessional on his part. And I just thought I didn't want to get into an argument with him while I was at work. And then he responded back, $5 question mark. I was like, you just confirmed everything I need to know about you. I haven't blocked him yet, but I'm going to block him. So that's all I need to know about him.
We generally tell each other. That's another thing too. If you're a dick buyer, other people find out about that. I mean, like you sent us that chain you had with him, the text chain. I blocked him. He's not going to buy. Chances of him buying something from me randomly probably not very high. But I don't want to deal with it if someone's going to come out like that. It's not worth it.
And you said about sending offers brings up my point number 4. Set best offers, offer best offers, or be willing to negotiate. Again, at the end of the day, trying to sell a card, we're trying to sell something that there's no set Beckett price guide for it anymore. Like, people have differing opinions. You don't have to sell it for less, but give yourself a little bit of room to negotiate with something. Something I learned a long time ago. Even if you want $50 for something, if you list it for $60 and somebody offers you $50 and you give them that deal, they feel better about their purchase. Like, there's a whole psychology behind giving people offers or being willing to negotiate that makes them feel better about the whole process and makes them have a much better feeling about the transaction they had with you. And some of the people that are just like anytime I see, even on like Twitter, where people are like firm praise, like it's like nothing should ever be firm.
Nothing.
You don't have to accept a lower offer, but like give yourself a chance, give people a chance to maybe get a little bit of a deal.
Yeah, I always, and EP and I were actually talking about this at one point when you had stepped away, like, because there was something that I had a ton of people view, a ton of people hit the watch button. And every time I do that, I send out an offer to someone that's interested. I don't have a problem negotiating. I'm going to set mine a little bit higher, maybe. I'm still going to be right around where the comps are, but I'm going to set it higher than at the end of the day, higher than I would be willing to take for it. Right. So if I list something for $30, in the back of my mind, I know I would take 20 for it. So if someone comes at that $20 offer, you and I do something that EP does not do, though. We do not filter out people from offering low prices. I don't know if it's just we should, and we always complain when they do, but part of it, it's like the two of us love to get annoyed. Like there's just something about us getting annoyed that just, I don't know, it just makes us happy for some reason. But I actually had someone come at me with a really, really low offer. We were at the National. They came at me with it was a $500 card. They offered me $100. I countered with $450 just to be a jerk. I'm like, no, I'm not, and I countered, and the guy ended up paying full price for it. I have no idea what happened. And, they never responded to, or they didn't message me and say, oh, I'll take the $450 instead. They didn't have any complaints. They left me positive feedback. But if I would have set my low, he would not have been able to send that initial offer. And I ended up making the deal.
Yeah, I get no problem limiting people, but that said, again, I'm going to reference these Topps cards. I listed when cards first come out, they sell it at a premium. People want to get their card first. They want to get all the numbered parallels, that sort of stuff. But I set all of my cards. Let's say, for example, a $50 card. I would consider any offer of $25 or more, so like half of that price, and I'm going to consider it. And for a lot of them, anything of $35 or more, I was accepting automatically. So I set for all of those for everything. Where I don't, please don't. I have a $3 card listed. I'm going to have best offer $199, but you can't offer me a penny for it or something like that. I set right. It for pretty much all of my cards. So yeah, I don't want to deal with that.
As an aside, it does crack me up that last week, right at the beginning of the pod, you're like, oh, I have one listed for $3, and someone offered me $275, and we thought you meant hundreds. And right. I'm like, who's that person that sees a $3 card and is offering $2.75? Right. I have no idea, but hey, whatever, and you're going to take that $2.75.
One of the other things too is when you send offers to people, there were cards I had listed for $29.99 before. The first set of offers I sent out was $27.99, but only $2 off. But they're people that will grab that. They're people that are they're watching, they're following. They don't want to quite pay that, but if you send them even just a little bit of a deal, a lot of people will take that.
Yeah,
people like deals. Mm-hmm. All right, our fifth and final point. Again, not rocket science. Package your stuff safely. I mean, we're all on Twitter. We've all seen the pictures and the videos of how people have received their cards, which sometimes, it works out. They get them and they're fine. Not everything has to necessarily be by the book, but make sure you're protecting whatever you're selling.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, every time I see one of those pictures or whatever on Twitter, I'm like, shit, I hope that wasn't mine. I'm looking, I'm like, I know I packed myself really, really well, but maybe I didn't put enough bubble wrap, or maybe I didn't put, the perfect amount of packing tape. But a topic to this, if you are selling slabs, don't tape packing tape to them and put them in bags. Yeah. Put them in bags. Put your top loaders in bags, use team bags. Team bags are your friend. Use them at all costs for pretty much everything, I think.
Now, I will say, I did see on Twitter, somebody wrapped up their top load in saran wrap. And I didn't get into the discussion because everybody was just laughing and appalled at it. But I was at the end of the day, I'm like, well, what was wrong with that.
Right.
Like
That's a
maybe he
team
didn't
bag.
have a team bag,
Yeah.
but he was trying to take that step
Right.
to make sure that it was protected from the rain and couldn't come out. Like I
Right.
thought it was pretty ingenious, but
Right.
everybody, of course,
At that
because
point, I'm
it's a
thinking maybe I
non-standard
should be
thing,
using
yeah.
saran wrap if I run out of
It was
team bags. That's
brilliant.
not,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie, it was
Yeah.
brilliant.
People use paper towels too, like,
Yep.
and they, you know, again, that's not what I would do. But is there any difference from using a paper towel and tissue paper? Like some people use tissue paper to you know, to bulk up a package so they can put it in a bigger box. Like, just do your very best and send out a package how you would want it to be sent to you if you were the buyer.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like we said about earlier, that a lot of the stuff is laziness. It's also, you want to have these people be repeat buyers. You want them to have a good experience. So the bottom line is, like, pack it so when they get it, they're happy. Their card is safe, and like that's the bottom line. Just make your customers happy. Like they're your customers. Like, gotta treat
they're
them that way.
customers.
Yeah.
Like realize that person giving you money is actually a customer. They're
Right.
not just another person. And you know, we've talked about this too. Like there's a strange satisfaction when you can perfectly pack something and you know,
The
like
best
you
box.
just couldn't do it any better.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have the perfect box or
Yeah.
the perfect cut of cardboard for around a card, you know.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel oddly good about yourself when you can do that.
Very satisfying.
I also like it when you receive a package and you open it up and you're like, oh my God, that's genius. I
Yeah.
love this. This is a great idea.
And use that stuff.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
have, you know, I'm not going to move my computer, but I've got all this stuff from a comic book I got. I'm going to use all this paper. I'm going to ship something else out in it. You know, recycle, baby. I can't imagine how much money I've saved in just recycling old boxes that I order from Amazon stuff from, or old
top loaders.
Old top loaders, the 400 count boxes that we used to buy at the shop, Mike. Like I consolidate everything. I have all these boxes. I use those. And it is so satisfying when someone leaves feedback. Best packaging I've ever had, or best, you know, best shipping and packaging.
Makes you feel good.
Yep.
Like
Really
those are
does.
the best feedbacks that I get. I don't care less if I get great price on this item. I don't care about that. I care about the packaging. I love when people compliment.
Because like it shows that you care about it. Like,
Right.
and if somebody's reading that feedback, I like if you're reading it and see, oh, this person took time to package something, I feel good about buying from them. Like there's a lot of, you know, the mental side of this that really does matter. Like people seem to think just because you're buying stuff online, it's not the same experience as walking into a store. It really is, even more so sometimes. So
I offer free shipping, almost all free shipping, even on cards that are like $1.50 base card, like common base cards, $1.50, but it's free shipping for all of it. And I take as much care with a $1.50 card as I do with a $19.99 card, sending it eBay standard envelope. I'm gonna make sure that it is in a team bag, in a top loader, and I'm gonna wrap the label around it and use packing tape. And it's a nice package. And I've had people say this is the best best packaged $1.50 card I've ever seen. And that again, that makes you feel good when you have that, because somebody wants that card. So
don't just throw a card into a bubble mailer and then like put the protect it somehow, like make an effort.
A little bit, just a little bit. All right, well there you go. Everybody knows how to be a good eBay seller. What tips, tricks, what guys do you have? Let us know in the comments. And other than that, I think we're out of here. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.